Clark and Mitchell with 47 combined points. Everybody's been efficient today for Indiana, shooting 59% from the floor. Mitchell gets a breather here to begin the fourth. She has 29 points. Here's Clark launching short. Long rebound. Morrow will double this season off the bench, extending her WNBA lead. It's the most in a single season by a player off the bench in league history.
Made such an impact in that third quarter where Toronto had 6 offensive boards for 7 turnovers out of Indiana. As a result, had 8 more field goal attempts in that quarter alone.
Harris working behind Timpson to the corner. Boston barrels in and a soft touch of the cup. 14 for Aaliyah Boston on 7 of 10 shooting. The trio of Boston, Mitchell, and Clark on pace to set the WNBA record for most points per game by a trio. Morrow, no, another offensive rebound.
That was a result of the blitz coming up and then Indiana being in rotation defensively.
And Rice nails the mid-range. That Bancole rebound was the 15th offensive rebound for Toronto in this game. Clark into the paint, separates, and knocks down the mid-range. 20 for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, 6th straight game with at least 20 points and 5 assists, tying herself for the longest streak in WNBA history.
How about Morrow, 6'1", going right at Timpson, able to score on the shot blocker.
And a whistle here against Toronto.
She doesn't get blocked.
I mean, she has been very impressive tonight. Toronto feeling good about that trade. Here's Cunningham. Off to Boston, her 3, won't go. Ooh. As Timpson gets called for the foul. You want a little more history?
I always want more history.
So Clark and Mitchell have both scored 20 tonight. It's their 16th game this season where they both scored 20. Breaking a tie with Diana Taurasi and Cappie Pondexter back in 2008 for the most such games by a duo in a single season.
They're like AP level in the way you're teaching the history of the W.
Well, this is our incredible research department. Jenny leading the way for us tonight. Bancole kicks it out. Here's Mabry firing inside. Harrison can't finish it. Another offensive rebound from Morrow. Bancole's 3 is good. Toronto cashing in on the second chance points, and it's single digits once again. Harris off to Timpson. Timpson lost it, and then that's going to be a foul going the other way. It's going to be called on Boston, and that will be her 4th.
Boston and Harrison, their arms got caught up underneath, right in front of the official. There.
It felt like that could have been a play on, probably. Rice, banker. Ooh. Big time board from Timpson, trying to squeeze it out to Clark, and does. Clark looking to shake Bancole, drives in, gets fouled, and will go to the line. This Sunday, tune in to watch the Washington Spirit versus the Orlando Pride, 4 Eastern on ESPN2. And Trinity Rodman, Washington Spirit star, as Clark hits the first. Let's check in with Holly.
We were talking to Caitlin Clark earlier today at practice just about how she has grown in her 3rd year here in the WNBA, and one of the areas that she's really improved in is defense. Yes, I'm talking about Caitlin as a good defender. She had a couple of incredible possessions at the end of our overtime game in Atlanta on Alicia Gray, who had a career high, and she said this is something that has been a mindset shift for her. Her coach said, I do believe her mindset has shifted. Caitlin said, I'm taking great pride in it, and I am trying to be good enough where I'm not getting subbed out late in games because my defense isn't good enough. That is a big step that she's taken this year in the W.
Good stuff, Hall, as Cunningham can't hit the 3, but a foul. And 3 free throws coming for Sophie Cunningham. Here we're talking about it with Steph White there as well. And Cunningham, it's the first. Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Coming up next here on ESPN. Fun game. And tomorrow on USA, Minnesota and Golden State, 10 Eastern. Thursday, a prime doubleheader. Go to WNBA.com and visit the WNBA app.
You know what was not on that graphic?
A full slate? I don't know.
Any cupcakes?
You're right. Like, you really want to drive this home?
No, I'm just revisiting it quickly.
Rice looking inside tomorrow. Clark trying to hang with Mabry. Mabry digs in. Mabry unable to finish. Here is Clark. Eyes up. Bounces to Boston. Doesn't take the three. Will drive it inside. Draws two. Harris can't hit the three. Boston the rebound. Clark fakes it. Wheels back. Draws Rice. Clark, difficult step back. Air ball. Harris retrieves. Shot clock fading. And a violation against Indiana. With 5:52 to go in this fourth. 15th turnover for the Fever. And a timeout on the floor. Indiana the 14-point fourth quarter lead.
When she was at DePaul, she was terrific at LSU, and she has always talked about, my family taught me that I had to be a relentless worker. I talked to her at the WNBA draft, and she said this example that my family set about how hard you had to work to find success in life, that's how I want to play, and we're seeing that play out here tonight. I think this is a really cool introduction to her. This is her first home game here in Toronto since the trade for Connecticut. I think they're going to fall in love with her and her work ethic. It stands out here tonight.
And there, GM Monica Wright pulled off a nice trade there. Gave up just a future second-round pick and then the rights to Maria Klondikova. But Morrow already filling a need. She all
Understanding it's going to be a growing year. Their down bodies have been all season long due to injury.
And Sandy knew that when she took this job as well. There were multiple franchises that were interested in her services. She's been a championship head coach at 2 different stops. But she loved the setup, the ownership, the chance to build something new here in Toronto.
Our pregame meetings with Sandy Brondello may be unmatched.
That's
just
right.
in times if she's always delightful, no matter what her team is going through.
Billings, the handoff to Clark. Clark, 6 to shoot. Finds hole in the corner, 3 to shoot. Back to Clark, and a 3-second violation called on Indiana. Coming up next, Atlanta and Vegas here on ESPN. With 5:14 to go in this fourth. Vegas currently the 3 seed, Atlanta the 5 for the WNBA playoff standings. Here's Sykes. Tosses inside, Harrison redirects, Nurse a 3. Too much on it. Rebound lands in the lap of Clark. Slow pace a little bit. Here's Clark. Fouled by Harrison. Tumbles to the floor. Grabbing at her hand. 4th team foul on Toronto. 9 days is the minutes of Clark and Mitchell because they have played a lot of minutes of late. Here's Hull cutting through. Couldn't finish it. Harrison the rebound. Sykes in transition, looking to take it to Clark. Lays it in, plus the foul. And Brittany Sykes can make it a single-digit game.
And one.
You know, Kelsey Mitchell has not come into the game yet in this fourth. Sitting at the edge of the bench. Wonder if Steph White is trying to be able to get to the finish line without having to throw her star back in there. But 29 points in 24 minutes for Mitchell. Stay here with Indiana. Toronto saying to their bench, challenge that, feeling like it last hit the Fever, and they will not. 9-point game, still a lot of time left. Clark on the cut, backs away, lets it fly, can't hit. Morrow another rebound, That is her 15th. 8 defensive, 7 offensive. Sykes no. Timpson a big-time board. And now Indiana will take a timeout with 4:01 to go. And the Fever unable to permanently separate. Morrow has been the engine behind the tempo. The fourth quarter, obviously that's a big developing story at 29 points in 24 minutes through the first 3. The MVP candidate who's having a historically great season. Going back to the locker room. And home player too many minutes after seeing the way her body broke down in the semifinals against Vegas last year in Game 5. But how she never seems tired and can always go, but you have to be careful. Yuskaita back in. Good hands from Boston and Harris. But then it ends up with Harrison who lays it in. Still a lot of game left here. Under 3:30 to go. Toronto on a 7-0 run. It is a 7-point game. Cunningham in the corner, lobs it in. Timpson the catch. And the lay through the contact. And timeout taken by the tempo with 3:08 to go in the fourth. We'll be back in 60 seconds. The rest of the fourth, it seems, without Mitchell. Obviously, any further update we have will pass along, as will the studio crew in the second game. As Harrison lays it in. Good play out of the timeout from Toronto. Meanwhile, Brittany Sykes on a minutes restriction. That's why she's not on the floor right now for the tempo. She was trying to negotiate more minutes per Holly with Sandy Brondello, but Toronto has to be careful. Her first game back in 2 months. Boston kicks it out. Harris, 2 to shoot. 1 to shoot. Harris pizza pies it home with the shot clock expiring. Rice, they need it. Too much on it. Rebound, Yuskaite. Cunningham comes with a swipe, and it's out of bounds to Toronto.
Caitlin Clark was trying to box out there, and Yuskaite just did a phenomenal job elevating and keeping the...
You review it at the next closest stoppage, and obviously Mitchell and what she's dealing with. Mabry gets it inside. Foul on Clark. That's her third. Yuskaita will go to the line to shoot 2.
Great cut by Yuskaita. She came from the right side of the floor in front of Caitlin Clark and just posted up with great position.
Yuskaita misses the first.
Yuskaita is strong.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup.
Big and strong player here, and as you mentioned earlier in the game, with experience playing facing the basket from overseas.
Has played in Lithuania, Poland, Spain, Turkey. 8-point game. Here's Clark off to Boston. Her 3 won't go. Harrison the rebound. And an opportunity for Toronto. And Mabry leads the Magic. Got hit by Cunningham. Toronto in the bonus. And now Mabry will go to the line with a chance to make this a 6-point game.
I'm sorry. Then extends hand for 5s.
Mabry with 16. She leads all Toronto scorers. Morrow has been incredible with the double-double off the bench. 14 points, 15 rebounds. Indiana basketball leading by 7. Clark has to get it across the timeline and didn't. That's an 8-second violation. Clark was just kind of absent-minded in the backcourt and just didn't get it across. So a turnover from Indiana. 17th, knocked away. Timpson comes up with it. Here is Clark. Clark through the lane, kicks it out. Cunningham connects. And that might be the dagger. Indiana by 10 with 1:25 to go.
White would have liked to see her team extend this lead, and the multiple times where they had the opportunity to do so, to really put the game away. Haven't done that, but continue to make plays like that last one we saw from Cunningham.
Mabry launches in a three, and don't go away yet. 7-point game, 1:20 to go. Atlanta, Vegas up next on ESPN. Clark into the lane. The fadeaway won't go. Rebound Morrow. A chance for Toronto. Mabry banks it in. And suddenly it's a 4-point game. And with 13 off the bench, is 3 of 3 from deep. 22 now for Mabry to lead the way for Toronto. And Morrow, 14 points, 16 boards. Boston, plenty of time in the shot clock. Gets it back, and a foul called on Toronto as Cunningham might have rolled her ankle. And free throws coming here for Indiana. They're in the bonus, and Cunningham a little shaken up. In the aftermath, Cunningham a critical player to Indiana in what they do. Boston drains the first. Hits them both. And now Toronto will take their reset timeout. Reset, a few years old in this league, allows you to advance the basketball as well as sub chip on a review. Here's Mabry firing again. Not that time. Long rebound. Rice comes up with it and is fouled by Cunningham. Kiki Rice will go to the line with 46.6 to go.
Sophie Cunningham a little bit frustrated. She felt like Mabry got her.
Buries the first.
This Temple team played with so much heart and toughness.
Rice hits them both. Indiana will use their reset. Inbounds to Boston. Off to Clark. Clock is the friend of the Fever. Clark letting it wind. Clark, no look underneath. Harris backs away. Shot clock at 8. Harris with a shot clock at 7. Harris stuck off to Boston. 2 to shoot. Boston can't get it to go. Toronto basketball, and they will take a timeout. Their final timeout with 20.5 remaining. Inbound, Harrison. Harrison trying to get it to Mabry. Hull defending her tightly. Mabry looking to find an angle and a carry. As Toronto turns it over, that shot will not count. Although the crowd delighted by it, the Tempo turn it over.
That was great defense by Lexi Hull, that entire possession on Mabry.
Clark gets fouled on the inbound, and now we'll go to the line.
Toronto was trying to get a touch for Mabry, and Hull.
Even though it's been a quieter offensive season, she still brings that. Great D at a key time. Clark hits both, his 24 points. 5 seconds left. That won't go. Timpson deflects it, and that will do it. The Indiana Fever hang on for a 5th straight victory as their first trip to Canada is a successful one.